replace the most powerful force of all, the force that comes from understanding exactly who you're becoming with every choice you make. The legacy perspective method. This understanding leads directly to the legacy perspective method, a technique that connects every choice you make right now to the person you're becoming over time. What version of yourself are you creating with the choice you make right now? Not tomorrow or next week or when you feel ready, but with the specific decision sitting in front of you at this exact moment. Every single choice you make is casting a vote for the type of person you're becoming. Skip the workout and you vote for someone who prioritizes comfort over health. Choose the easy task over the important one, and you vote for someone who avoids challenge. Make an excuse instead of taking action, and you vote for someone who lets circumstances control their life. The person you'll be 5 years from now is being shaped by what you choose to do in the next 5 minutes. Future self-visualization works because it connects your abstract long-term goals with immediate emotional motivation. Stanford University's 2025 research reveals that people who regularly visualize their future selves are twice as likely to make choices that align with their long-term objectives. Your brain struggles to care about abstract future benefits, but responds powerfully to vivid images of who you could become. When you can clearly see the person you're working toward becoming, present actions feel less like sacrifice and more like investment. The technique requires specific visualization practices that make your future self feel real rather than imaginary. You don't just think about being successful or healthy or accomplished in vague terms. You create detailed mental pictures of your future self living the life your current actions are building toward. You see yourself waking up in the morning feeling energetic and strong because you made consistent healthy choices over years. You see yourself confidently handling challenges in your career because you spent countless hours developing skills when others were watching television. You see yourself surrounded by meaningful relationships because you chose to invest time in people instead of distractions. Legacy thinking transforms every mundane action into something significant by viewing it through the lens of long-term impact. Instead of seeing today's workout as just another exercise session, you see it as one more deposit into your future health and vitality. Instead of viewing today's work on your side project as just another evening task, you see it as building the foundation for your eventual freedom and success. Instead of treating today's difficult conversation as just another uncomfortable moment, you see it as strengthening your ability to handle future challenges with courage and integrity. This perspective shift changes your relationship with discomfort completely. When you understand that today's struggle is creating tomorrow's strength, resistance becomes welcome instead of something to avoid. The difficulty you feel while learning a new skill isn't punishment. It's your brain building new capabilities that your future self will use to achieve things your current self can't imagine. The tiredness you feel after pushing through a challenging day isn't suffering. It's evidence that you're expanding your capacity to handle bigger challenges and opportunities. Research on mortality awareness shows that people who regularly think about their limited time on Earth make dramatically different choices than people who live if they have unlimited time. Viktor Frankl observed that those who found meaning in their suffering could endure almost anything, while those who saw no purpose collapsed under far less pressure. When you truly understand that your days are numbered, wasting time on meaningless activities becomes psychologically painful. Postponing important goals until someday feels reckless instead of reasonable. Waiting for perfect conditions feels like choosing regret over progress. Making abstract future consequences feel immediate requires specific mental exercises that bridge the gap between today and decades from now. One powerful technique involves writing a letter from your 80-year-old self to your current self, but you can simplify this into 3 immediate prompts. What would your future self thank you for doing consistently starting today? What habits would they warn you to stop before they compound into bigger problems? What opportunities would they tell you to pursue while you still have the energy and time? These questions make long-term consequences feel personal and immediate, instead of theoretical and distant. Self-determination theory research shows that self-compassion actually improves goal adherence by reducing the shame and self-criticism that often derail progress. When you view your journey toward your future self with kindness rather than harsh judgment, you're more likely to bounce back from setbacks and maintain consistency over time. This balance between future focus and present acceptance creates sustainable motivation that doesn't depend on perfect performance. Identity trajectory thinking means recognizing that you're not a fixed person trying to achieve goals. You're a person in the process of becoming someone different, and your daily choices determine the direction of that transformation. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you move toward becoming someone for whom discipline feels natural. Every time you choose growth over safety, you move toward becoming someone who thrives on challenge. Every time you choose action over procrastination, you move toward becoming someone who gets things done consistently. The trajectory concept reveals why forcing yourself becomes easier over time instead of harder. You're not fighting against your natural personality forever. You're gradually becoming the type of person who naturally makes choices that used to require significant effort. The person you're becoming through consistent daily choices eventually makes those choices automatically because they align with who you've become rather than conflicting with who you used to be. Maintaining this perspective during difficult moments requires predetermined mental frameworks that kick in when motivation disappears. When you don't feel like taking action toward your goals, you remind yourself that this exact moment is when your future self gets created. Comfortable moments don't build character or capability. Challenging moments do. The choice you make when you don't feel like making the right choice determines whether you become someone who follows through regardless of feelings or someone who only acts when conditions are perfect. The power of legacy thinking becomes most apparent during moments of resistance, because that's when you realize you're not just avoiding a single workout or work session. You're choosing between two different life paths. One path leads to the person who consistently did what needed to be done, even when it felt difficult. The other leads to the person who had good intentions but let feelings determine actions. Both versions of your future self are equally possible, and every moment of resistance is actually an opportunity to choose which version becomes reality. The transformation happens through action, not insight. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Forcing yourself isn't about becoming someone different. It's about cultivating the disciplined person you become through consistent action. Every technique I've shared works because it removes the barriers preventing your growth. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. The 3 most practical techniques from this video are the 5-second countdown rule to bypass hesitation, microforcing with actions so small they eliminate resistance, and environmental design that makes good choices automatic. Pick one technique and use it today, right now, not tomorrow, when you feel ready. Apply one method today and comment below with your experience.